Controversy. 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 Controversy sells. Controversy sells. It's one thing I know about, the human race, man, for real. You could sell the human race 3 things and they're gonna buy it all the time: convenience, controversy, and overall gossip. That plain and simple. So I wouldn't be the capital A lowercase ss hole that I am if I didn't stir up the pot a little bit. Real talk. So I know, these 3 men are loved in the black community. They got love in the black community. And rightfully so. They are our freedom fighters. They are our Avengers before we read the Marvel Avengers comic books. And if you don't know already whom I'm referring to, that's Malcolm, Martin, and Marcus. Respectfully, Malcolm X, known as Malcolm X, or Malik El Shabazz, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I think the third. I have a lot of respect for them, and I've studied them throughout, my years. Overall, I respect them, and I have love. But what we tend to do as human beings is we never want to, I ain't gonna say never, let me take that back. Oftentimes what we tend to do, not all the time, but often, as human beings, we tend to not learn from someone else's mistakes, which doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather learn from another person's mistakes than to make that same mistake on my own and learn from that mistake that I made personally. Nah, that's all right. I'd rather for a person fuck up and then I learn from that person's fuck ups. That plain and simple. And you may say, well, where exactly are you going with this, Langston? Because are you saying that, Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and Dr. Martin King were F-ups and they messed up or they did something wrong? And what are you implying, Langston? I'm not going to say that they did something wrong. That's not what I'm going to say. I'm just going to say that they were misled. Real talk. Because they looked at black people as just that. Black folks. Now I know, come on. Malcolm was from the streets. So he knew that, there's a separation. There's a difference in the race. You got your niggas and then you got your regular black folks that work 9 to 5, when they pay their taxes. They're law-abiding citizens. I do understand that. I do understand that Malcolm, Marcus, and Martin knew the difference. But for some odd reason, they piled us all in together. And it was kind of like black folks looked at Malcolm, Martin, and Marcus the same way they would look at that blue-eyed, blonde-haired Messiah that they worshipped. They looked at these men as being saviors and not so much flawed, are just regular human beings. So I'm not going to get into marital affairs and, the marital status of these men and all that personal stuff. That's not what I'm getting into. I'm going to tackle the doctrine. You understand? And Marcus His doctrine or ideology was like, yo, let's get on the boat, go back to Africa. I'm making the long story short, so please don't get at me, in the comment section of this video. Malcolm X was by any means necessary. We're going to get free, or we're going to be treated equally. I really don't know specifically where Malcolm was going with his agenda or his ideology and his thought. I'm assuming he wanted everybody to be Muslims, all black people to be Muslims. I don't know. His was kind of sketchy. It's my opinion. Martin's was straightforward. He wanted equality in in America. The problem is that all three were religious. Marcus was a Catholic, Martin was a Christian, and Malcolm was a Muslim. And when you're dealing with religion, it's like everyone can be saved. In other words, what I'm saying, the line wasn't drawn in the sand to let everybody know that there's a separation in the two. So you had a whole lot of fuckery going on that should have never went on. A lot of deceitfulness. A lot of traitors. For real. A lot of sabotaging. Of plans we had. Because there were NIGGERSs involved. I'll go as far as to say that the men that shot Malcolm in front of his children and his wife were straight up NIGGASs or ERs. The one that conspired against Martin. Jesse. Were NIGGERSs. Yeah, I said it. The ones that conspired to have Dr. Martin Luther King assassinated were NIGGERSs. Jesse. That's the problem, man. That's always been a problem for centuries on out. I'm not even lying. I'm not a religious person, but I'm going to be real. When I read the Bible, for what it's worth, when I look at the story of Cain and Abel, I'm like, damn, even in biblical days, you had an NIGGERSs, because that was Cain. And you got to watch your back out for them, man. Martin, Malcolm, Marcus, they were all about the people. They were for and by the people. See, this is crazy. I'm not a freedom fighter. I'm not nowhere near close to being in Malcolm, Martin, and Marcus's presence. But even if I wanted to be, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't. Because I know where fighting that good fight leads to. A dead-end road. Straight up. Where every Black History Month, you talked about. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? They mentioned Malcolm, Marcus, and Martin in February. Of course, and the 2-for-1 deal. They make sure they put, if it's not in February, Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday is around that time, so you get the 2-for-1 price of one, deal. And then they mentioned Malcolm, Martin, and Marcus around Black History Month, and then they mentioned them again around Juneteenth, and that's it. So yeah, man, it's not, the payout is not worth, the work that you have to put in being a freedom fighter. But I'm gonna tell you the real reason why I wouldn't take the job. And I would never want to be in Malcolm's, Martin's, and, Marcus's presence. I wouldn't want to sit beside, I wouldn't want my face on a Mount Rushmore, of freedom fighters. It's because I know that I'm not fighting for you, Nick. Y'all can say the rest. Y'all can say the rest. And the reason why I'm not going to fight for y'all, Pretty Ricky says, he said it best. Why am I not going to fight for a bunch of NIGGRSs? Pretty Ricky said it best. He said, niggas gon' nig. That's why. That's real talk. And I know some of you all look at my channel. You know what I'm saying? Some of you, your Hoteppers, Ankh, you wearing Ankhs right now. The Kente cloth, dashikis, and all of that stuff. You got the whole get up. I know right now you are pissed off at me. How dare Langston say these things? Blasphemy. Blasphemous. But I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Why would I fight for some NIGGRSs? And I know what the outcome's gonna be. It sure as hell ain't gonna be no damn Martin. I ain't gonna be laying with no pillow. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm being blunt so you can see just how real this shit is, man. I'm not gonna be laying on the floor with a pool in a pool of my own blood for a bunch of NIGGRSs. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Have you ever seen someone shot before? I have. But it was just pop, one in the chest. Straight up. He was. I've seen a couple of people get shot. But guess what? They would just pop. A drive-by, somebody got shot in the leg or something. It wasn't no big thing. It's still traumatizing though. Y'all don't realize that. Like, seriously, please tell me you all are not that desensitized. I understand that you play, PS5 games and, they attempt to desensitize you by having you shoot up people. And Mortal Kombat is one of my favorites. I can't wait until the new one come out where I can chop off heads and all. At the end of the day, please tell me that we haven't desensitized enough to the point where you can't feel this, what I'm about to say. They got up in front. In front of Malcolm. And they didn't shoot him once. They shot him multiple times in front of his wife and children. Do you know, Harder? Do you know? You got a wife or a husband? Sometimes like you might bump into, your wife may bump into a couch or like a table or something, and it's like that funny bone or something like that, and it hurts real bad. When she does that, or when your husband does, or anyone that you love, what's your reaction? You jump up and you try to, you know what I'm saying? Save the day. You try to rescue her. Malcolm's daughters and his wife couldn't do nothing but sit there and look. And be in fear and tears. for their loved one's life as well as theirs. Because they're killing my loved one. When they stop doing that, are they going to kill us? And you going to have the nerve to get upset with me when I tell you that Malcolm, Marcus, and Morton were wrong. Real talk. You can't turn an Nigger into a black person. You can't change an Nigger. You can't. They're going to be who and what they are. The reason why I'm going to live a long life, and you're going to see me make videos until I don't feel like making videos anymore, it's because I didn't give two flying fucks about a Nigga, or if you want to put an ER on it, don't make a difference to me. I'm just trying to, help out a few black folks. That's it. That think like, we likes. We think the same. We have, things in common. Like principles, morals, family. Being happy. Being successful. Enjoying life for the small slot we have to enjoy it. Because let's just be real. If you make it to be 80 years old, that's like, 80 times around the sun? Like, seriously, that's nothing. The earth rotated around the sun 80 times, and now you're dead. For real. I'm going to tell you the biggest problem that I have. Knowing just how unimportant and obsolete I am. I'm not going to talk about anyone else. I'm just going to talk about me. And the way that I can figured that out is, don't get it twisted. I've been taking planes, all my life. I've been taking flights in and out. You know what I'm saying? All my life, only because, I used to live in New York and, I had family in the South. And then when I moved to the South, and I still have family in New York. So I would go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, my method of transportation, as far as, going back and forth and relocating to different states, was a plane. Other times, Greyhound, when I was broke and had shit, Greyhound, Amtrak. Once the Megabus. But for the most part, it was the plane. And once you get up high, altitude, you're several thousands of feet up in the air, miles or whatever, right? When you look out the window, the cars are dots. That's the way you look from that high up. So when a person gets out of the car, you can't even see them. They're invisible because they're that small. Real talk. Now just think how important we are to the universe. For real. Or how important the earth is to the universe. We don't even know just how big space is. In other words, what I'm saying to you all, focus on you and you'll be all right. Straight up. I been gave up that save black people, save the world mentality. They got songs out for that shit anyway. Heal the world, self-destruction. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson, when he was alive, he made a bunch of them to heal the world songs. I thought they don't really care about us. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Other than that, man, I'm not wasting my time on no Nick. I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think I think what kind of clouded their mind, you know what I'm saying, is they felt as though that, overall black people were mistreated, including the NIGGRSs. And that I guess they felt as though that they had to fight and defend, the whole black race. And you can't do that, because guess what? When you're dealing with NIGGRSs, regardless of what way you're dealing with, it's always going to be counterproductive. Straight up. So yeah, man, these videos ain't, I'm not trying to save a nigga. I'm not trying to do that. No, all I'm trying to do is relate to a few people, drop some jewels. We exchange information and knowledge, and that's it. That's it. You ain't gonna see me on the news, or what is it, on Vlad TV, or what is it? What's that other shit? Breakfast Club. I'm not doing none of them circuits. I'm not gonna be another Polite or Dr. Umar. None of that. Nah, this ain't nothing but barbershop choke talk. That's it. Straight up. I'm putting my work out in those streets, and I know exactly where black people want to go. I know exactly where they want to go. For real. And at the end of the day, if it's not moving out of these cities riddled with sex, drugs, and violence, going out there in the country and building your own utopia or oasis, if it's not that, if it's, we just gonna, we gonna change from the inside out. You got to integrate into the system, and then we can change it from the inside out. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. I'm not trying to hear, let's just wait it out because things gonna change. I'm not trying to hear, America's not like that. We not like that. This is just one isolated incident. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. If you're not about sovereignty, being an entrepreneur, growing your own food, just overall being more responsible for you and yours, we ain't got no conversations. Ain't nothing to be had. Because let me tell you something. If you're not willing to get out there and put your goddamn hands in that dirt to feed your goddamn children, then you are NIGGRS to me. Real talk. That's what I'm on. And I know that my so-called agenda, I ain't no agenda, but it's, for the sake of conversation, quote unquote, agenda or plan, I know ain't but so many people that's gonna come along with me. For real. Because most black folks, whether you're NIGGRS or just a regular black folk, y'all vote Democrat all the time, y'all believe in your government, and you ain't trying to leave out of these cities where it's country, and you got to do this and you got to do that and blah, 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 blah. Nah, you want convenience. You want to live in these cities. And in reality, police brutality, black on black crime, drugs, the war on drugs, shit can get worse than what it already is. The reality of it is it don't even make a difference what happens. You cool. Some black folks are cool, little bug, are cool with being abused. A lot of us suffer from Stockholm Syndrome. We just don't want to walk away from good old massa. Me, on the other hand, I'm different. Straight up. And I'm not trying to save people. I'm just trying to, get the message out. And if you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. That plain and simple. But other than that, man, I ain't Malcolm. I ain't Marcus. And I damn for sure ain't Martin. I ain't saving none of you NIGGASs or ERSs. That plain and simple.